Hey every pony, I thought I'd address some things that have been on my mind recently. Especially, I more and more see people who are closet bronies, or then I see haters because they just don't like certain concepts of stories, or rate things down just because it's not to their liking. Yeah, okay, I can understand the latter, but people rating content down because it's not to their, because the story is not what they usually read, I think that's just unjustified. I see that a lot on film fiction, and I think it's just unjustified. And then there's the thing with haters, which I also want to address, because I think that's something every brony has to deal with. First of all, I want to address a thing which involves closet bronies, which is also very closely related to haters. I myself am no closet brony. Well, I've shown my face on YouTube, and all my friends know that I'm a brony. Just lately I had contact with a friend that I haven't seen in months, and I told him that I have this channel, and he was, "Oh my god, really?" And instead of criticizing me for it, he's coming over in the next few weeks, and he looked me up on YouTube, and he was amazed to see my content, and instead of criticizing me for it, he accepts it. And that's something I can be very, very glad about, because all my friends accept that I'm a brony. I know that not many of you are that lucky. But all I can say to you is, if your friends tease you about being a brony, then, well, don't get angry about it. Really, don't. My father, for example, he is most likely the most anti-brony you can imagine. But what the hell? He cracks his jokes and whatever, and just laugh about it. If you feel offended by it, and don't want them to crack jokes about it, don't get angry, because that is what they want. That is also what haters want. Haters want you to get angry. Haters want to see your reaction, to see your angry reaction. They want you to either ignore them, because then that is also a way to show them that they have gotten under your skin. Don't ignore them, but don't give them what they want either. Don't give them an angry reply. If someone makes fun of you for liking My Little Pony, it is something you like. And I'm going into depths here because I want to explain to you how someone becomes a hater. I'll just describe the average brony, I'd say. I'd say average age about, 15 to 24, male. Yeah, that's I think would cover it. And yeah, then there are others in the same age range, and they like things like, I just can go off from what I know about my friends and my family. My stepbrother, for example. They like, for example, things like Battlefield 4 or World of Warcraft, or other things that are supposed to be, I'm using quotes here, manly. Manly is, in my opinion, a very awkward word, and it leaves much room for interpretation. What manly meant in ancient times was that you were able to protect your wife and family. Oh my god. For me, it means that you are not cowardly enough to be afraid of something different. I mean, someone who hates on you because you like My Little Pony does not so because he's actually enraged, but because it's a defense reaction. You are liking My Little Pony. It is something that is not inside his or her sense of normality, and therefore he or she feels offended. And that brings forth this urge for them to make fun of it, to try to make you stop, to push you into that mold they have for their own sense of normality. Even someone who looks like, perfectly fine father of several children, living in a suburban settlement, respectable member of the community, even a person like that can become a hater, because you are not inside his sense of normality. I know, that things that are not normal for other people bring mixed feelings, because most of our society is not built around love and tolerance like the Brony community should be, but at the moment there's much drama, and I'll go into that later. But it is around being normal. Our society is focused around being normal and not being tolerant. That is a fatal flaw in our community. Just imagine if we were more tolerant towards each other. Life would be so much easier. There would be so much less conflict. But it just isn't that way. Our community, our society, human society overall, I'm not talking only about the Western society, I'm talking about our race as a whole. We are just that way. There are some tolerant beings, like the average Brony, I'd say. And, even I have my moments of intolerance. Okay, there are things I do not like. I mean, I once was at a Star Trek convention because I'm always also a Star Trek fan, and I saw someone there who ran around in a complete makeup as Mr. Worf, complete with face mask and all. I mean, it looked really cool, but it's not something I would do, because that thing really looked pretty uncomfortable. I mean, it's his thing, he may do it, but I don't want to. But still, I'm tolerant enough to say, okay, do your thing, you have fun with it, I wouldn't do. In fact, in the actual going in the events the turn of events was that I talked with that guy about, 4 hours? Over how hard it was to make that mask, and he actually made his whole uniform himself, and was really cool. And even so, it's something that is way out of my comfort zone. I thought it was cool. It was cool. He has fun with it, and that's good enough for me. I wouldn't go so far as to say I hated it, or it was just something I wouldn't do. And that's the same thing with the My Little Pony fandom. There are people who say, oh my god, you're producing Rule 34 content, or in short, My Little Pony porn. Yeah, but those people in turn write or read shipping fics. In a shipping fic, as I said before, there is bound to be sex at some point. Yeah, even so, authors like D. Lazarus go around the topic pretty well. They just describe the intro, like I'd call it right now, because the foreplay, and then afterwards they skip the actual act. That's okay. He still produces great stories. Yeah, and that's something many haters of our 39 content that are within the Brony community just don't realize. They have shipping fics written or on their read later list or whatever, or likes them, and don't realize that the relationship somehow, inevitably, will go there eventually. Yeah, what do we have next? I have covered haters. Yeah, no, not exactly. Haters also have the problem. Just bear with me here, because I'm doing this without a script, and I'm just telling you my random thoughts here on the matter, because it's really concerning me, and I really would like all of your opinions, because this is something we could discuss as bronies eventually. Okay, let's just haters are, I pity them, because they have the need to try to force you into their world of normality. For everyone who just has not much self. I've lost my thread. I don't know the word right now. Who is not confident enough in himself, so to accept what someone else does. I just can only pity those people, because even though you don't see it in my comment sections, I get my fair amount of hate emails. Yeah. But I delete such things pretty quickly, because I'm almost 24/7 on YouTube. And the thing is, I also am on YouTube when I'm out of the house. I have internet on my cell phone, and each time one of you writes a comment to me, my cell phone goes ring, ring, and I immediately know, oh yeah, someone has written something to me. Yeah, that sort of thing. And I can only pity those people. I myself am tolerant towards almost every fandom. There are only very few things that I absolutely do not tolerate, and these things usually involve violence or misuse of a minority, like, I don't know, child porn. That's something I absolutely don't tolerate. There's no arguing there. It's something that I think is not okay. That's where my tolerance ends, and that is one reason I do not read full con stories on my channel. I just don't want to. That is something that goes into that category, and I don't want to do it. And I won't, no matter what. What we have in the community right now is much drama. Things like, I don't know. Yeah, well, Alicorn Twilight, and why did she become an Alicorn? Now she is a princess, but what's her purpose being a princess? And seriously, guys, keep your drama to yourself. This entire fandom will fall apart on drama. I have had so much drama on one of my stories on FemFiction when I wrote Children of the Night, because people accused me for making Celestia look like an unsufferable tyrant. If you have listened to that story or have read it on FemFiction, then you know that I didn't intend to do that. I wanted to make her look pragmatic. And people making drama over fan-created content. Where is this fandom going? I ask that myself every time I look in the comment sections of some of the stories I have on my channel. Not only on my channel, but on FemFiction or other sites I frequently use. And there is so much drama. Why? Because the people do not accept that some people just want to write content that does not 100% or create content that is not 100% in the limits or the boundaries of the show. If we did that, then what would be the whole reason to write a fan fiction at all? I mean, if I would write a story that is 100% inside the boundaries of the story, that would be quite boring. Because then I could go to Hasbro and say, here, I've got a script for you. No, the things we write as fans, that's just fan-created content made to live out our fantasy of things we think could happen inside the universe of MLP, but has not the boundaries to stay inside the actual story of MLP, which is actually right now that Strange Chest of Harmony, which I don't get yet, but on fanfiction there are already stories like Plundering Twilight's Purple Plot. No, I will not read this. Maybe. Don't know yet. Okay. The thing is, why the drama? The official content produces drama. Why? I can understand that some people say, like in the last episode of last week, oh my god, Daring Do is an actual character. And she writes books, I don't know, yeah. That kind of thing. I can understand that people are kinda shocked to find something like that out, but why not? What is so bad about Daring Do writing journals about her, or fictions, stories about her adventures and publishing them? I think it's a very good thing. Really, I like it. I like the idea. And things like in the first season 4 premiere, I myself have so many things to nitpick about that thing, but only when I look at it the same way I would look at a fanfiction one of you requests of me and look for flaws. If I just look at it for enjoyment like I usually do, then this two-parter is just wonderful. The big problem with the Brony community and all the drama that I see is the overanalyzing of a kids show and overanalyzing of fan-created content. It is all made to... It is not made to be analyzed. It is made to entertain. And if you don't like it, as I said, if there's just, well, it's not to your liking, you know? For example, I've released a story recently on fanfiction, and I have some people rating it down just for the sole reason of rating it down, because it's something they don't like. Not because of my writing, not because of my, I don't know, spelling, I don't know. Just because it's a story in a genre they don't like. I really must say that I have one person there in the comment section who is really cool. He or she wrote that Human in Equestria story, yes, it's a Human in Equestria story, are usually not his or her stuff, but he or she will give it a read and let me know what he or she thinks of it. That is the spirit. Don't judge something before you've read or watched it. And even then, see it as a separate work of art. Don't just try to fit that into the boundaries of a kids show. We must always remember that My Little Pony Friendship is Magic may be a wonderful work of art. And I'm the last one to, well, to deny that, but it is still a kids show. All the nitpicking some people do about the stories, about the arcs, about animation flaws, about Alicorn Twilight, for example. Why? It is a kids show. It is simply a kids show. A kids show we enjoy. And I, for my part, stand to it. I I admit openly that I am a pony fan. Hell, if you look up, you all know I call myself Visual Pony. Look me up on Steam, you'll find me. Visual Pony. I even have Twilight Sparkle with a cowboy hat as my avatar. People used to, when I play Counter-Strike, people PM me and ask me if I'm a brony, and I say yes, yes. You can't imagine how many times that has gotten me banned from a server. Just because I'm a brony. But, bucket. I don't often play Counter-Strike anymore, so that doesn't really concern me. But there are things like this, intolerance towards us bronies, and we must accept that there are people who do not accept us bronies, but accept of raging against them or exchanging shitstorms. Yes, that's an actual word. We just have to accept that they have a different opinion, because that is what love and tolerate is all about. I will not go into a rant with someone who says to me that I'm gay because I'm a brony. I will just simply say, okay, if you think I'm gay, then, well, that's your opinion. You can ask my ex-girlfriend if I am. You just have to be witty. Give them something to laugh about, or shock them. Yeah? I mean, I know this one guy who is actually gay and is also a brony. And that was the actual fun part. We were out, he had his Twilight Sparkle, I'm a brony, deal with it t-shirt on, and someone said to him that he's gay. And he turned around and said, problem? That was just wonderful. Yeah, I don't have any reason to dislike the fandom other than the drama, and that is why I dismissed many things I wanted to do inside the fandom and just seclude myself with my fanfiction readings. Because, or stick with them, better word to say that. I'm not secluding myself, I stick with the fanfiction readings. And that is something other bronies, also you closet bronies, that is addressed to you. You have to learn just to accept it. And if someone physically hurts or threatens you because you're a brony, man, there's always something called the police. In Germany it's 110, or if you're in America, 911. That is against the law. Even in Germany, someone is... even in Germany, that's wrong. But, I mean, worldwide, the laws. Every human has its rights. And in Germany, there is this one part in the law book that no citizen is to be is not allowed to give them a disadvantage because of who they are, their sex, their sexual orientation, their religion, or, well, what they like. And I think our fandom could be very, very much better if we just would apply to accept each other and don't criticize each other just for the sake of criticizing. Just go accept the work of another. See if there isn't really something you wouldn't like about it. I mean, yeah, I know I have hated about stories, but I have never rated them down on fanfiction, because in the end, after I have read them, even so if they were annoying reads, after I have read them, converted them to an MP3 file, I put them onto my tablet, listen to them, and suddenly I enjoy the story because I just can enjoy it instead of having to read it without a mistake. Yeah? You just have to accept what other people do. and also what Hasbro and DHX do with the show. Because we cannot change it in any way. Even so, the creators of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, Equestria Girls said at a convention that Equestria Girls was actually the fault of the Brony fandom because of all the humanized content we create. I just had to laugh at that because there were so many haters in the Brony community concerning Equestria Girls. I, for one, enjoyed the movie. Because I did not connect it to the actual show, no, I saw it as a separate work of art. That's how I see most things of My Little Pony. There are things that you can connect to the show, yeah, but man, it's simple. It's as simple as that, as I said before. It's a kid's show. Don't overanalyze it. I mean, okay, I have people like DigiBrony or Brony Curious. I have subscribed to them because there are some things that I can absolutely agree on, but I wouldn't say that some episodes are worse than others because of some of the flaws that are in them, or things like, if you look it up, everything wrong with, I don't know, Dragon Shy, or with any other episode. I mean, it's cool that they find all these mistakes. I mean, like I think it was second episode, season 1, when they all go into the Everfree Forest, when Rainbow Dash walks by in the background, actually her tail is missing. It is interesting that the animators made this mistake, but it doesn't make the episode any less enjoyable for me. So, what I want from you now is your opinion. What do you think of all the drama in the Brony community? Do you think tolerance in our society as a whole would strengthen humanity? What do you think about haters and my thoughts on them? Leave your comments and I will be sure to read them. And yeah, I know I had pretty many fuck-ups in my telling you this all, and my, I don't know when I get a word wrong, but this is something I did without a script because I thought I had to do it. I wanted your thoughts on it. I'm a Brony, you're a Bronies, we're cool, we all like ponies. Sincerely yours, Visual Pony.